Hey, welcome back. This is Bloodmire's channel. I'm outside with the birds and the squirrels today, so if you hear them in the background or if you hear some background noise, it's not you. It's just me. Okay. So was reading some of the feedbacks, and I appreciate everybody's comments and we continue support. So today I'm actually just going to take this video and do a slideshow, so no pictures or anything like that. But I'm just going to do some tactics, and this is just for vampire accounts. A lot of it you could apply to other armies, but this will be for our vampire accounts players. So I'm going to go from the top here, and when choosing lords and building characters, I chose from the lords page. There's only two, so there's Vlad and Manfred, and I added up Vlad, and he's 490 to play, but he's actually 510 if you actually try to build him as a character from like scratch and Vampire Lord and Breaking Rules and etc. What I have to say about Vlad, he's an excellent character. He gets better if you play Isabella and she dies, but I mean that's like it's kind of like just kind of throwing a character to the wolves, and you don't want to waste points, but they are a good combo together, and I will say that. Overall, I think that Vlad brings an atmosphere to the field where, actually, honestly, when I play Vlad, I tend to be a little bit more courageous, I think. So, but he's it's a really cool guy. And you forget to read that novel, you should do so. Next was Manfred, and he's 500 plus points. He's got two unique items that he brings with him, and I couldn't put a point value on them since they're so unique, like adding 2 wounds and adding power dice when you do a wound, etc. So, but he's at least 500 points plus, and he knows 2 lords. And if I ever play a lord, again, as far as special character goes, it will be Manfred. And when I do get that up, I will let everybody know. Now, when making your own vampire, the best thing to do is simply to go 2 directions. The best investment overall is to either go towards a combat-oriented character or a magic-oriented wizard. Now, when you want to build a combat-ruling vampire, I pulled down some of the basic vampiric powers that are going to be most useful to you. Now, if you're playing low point cost games, you'll have to just work with what you can. But the first one that I always choose is Infinite Hatred. I forgot Avatar of Death. It's not on this list, but that's definitely a good one to go with if you're going to play him on foot. Red Fury is a really good one, but it's just a suggestion. If you plan on doing a lot of wounds, if you pull that combo that I did with the Dread Knight, Dread Lance, then you play Red Fury. You don't even need Infinite Hatred because you always hit. So, other than that, these are the basic ones. Some magic items to consider if you're going to be a combat-oriented. You might as well go ahead and do stuff like boost your units. So, Blood Drinker, if you've got that casting invocation. So, if you're in a Blood Knight unit, you get another Blood Knight if you cause a wound. So that's pretty cool. Another one would be if you take Dread Knight, take the Cadaver's Curus. That'll keep you immune from Killing Blow and poisonous attacks. That really bites you in the ass when you have a beefed up character and he's got all this stuff on him, and then goes, oh well, I've got Killing Blow, and there goes your 3 wounds. There goes your armor save. Hope you can make that ward, and you don't. And then your entire army crumbles. So, it's 15-point item, and it protects you from that rule, and it's definitely worth it if you take a Dread Knight and if you're on horseback. Amulet Preservation, that keeps you so that you can have a basic armor save if you wanted to. So you can have, if you take Avatar of Death, you have a 4-up ward, and then you'll have a 4-up armor save as well. So, that's a pretty good combo. Next, if you're going to try and just be a combat-oriented wizard and do a lot of summoning and throw down some spells, and first thing that you need to do is Forbidden Lore. If I play 600 points, I'm bringing Forbidden Lore. First thing I choose, because it's so important that you have all the spells that's available to you. Because if you play a low point game, and you can't bring but like one vampire, it doesn't help if you have just one spell. Especially when you roll like box cards in your magic phase. Wow, you have 6 dice to use 2 spells and spam invocation. You know, wouldn't you? You would much rather have that 6 extra spells. This helps. When choosing the lore, it's really up to you. If you know who your opponent's going to be, then you should definitely manipulate it to that fashion. For example, if you're going to be playing against someone that has low initiative, then you don't need to take like the lore of life or something like that. You might take the lore of beast, which is what I normally take regardless. Death is a good one. If you're playing high initiative characters, don't play death. If you're playing, I mean, it's up to you really. If you don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to a tournament, for example, I would just choose either vampires or beast or heavens. And if you look at them and you play through them a couple of times, I think that you understand why. And then you have Dark Acolyte, which will give you that extra level that you need. That would be probably a second one if you're going to choose another. If you're going to make a Wizard Lord. Master of Black Arts is next, but that's one's really debatable. And you can really choose in between Dark Acolyte and Master of the Black Arts, because you get a +1 for your casting value, but would you rather have a +1 each time you cast, or 2 extra dice to start with? So, you know, it's whatever you're playing with. Magic items to consider. You probably will want to take Amulet Preservation. You might take that Armor of Fortune from the core rulebook. That's probably a good one to take. And then you probably either need to take an Earthing Rod that'll change your miscast in case you do miscast. And you can, if you can afford it, take a Dispel Scroll too. That'll help you. Next, heroes. When making a vampire, usually you need to make him just so he does his job and don't spend any more points on him than necessary. That being said, you can do just about anything you want to. Now, I have a Wight King right below vampire here, and you can see BSB only. Here's why I say that. You have an extra wound, you have a higher toughness, and your leadership 9. If you're going to use a BSB, make it a Wight King. He's 25 points cheaper, and you get 3 stats raised. He's not as strong, but you know, his purpose is to stay alive. He is the battle standard bearer. So, you know, doesn't make sense for him to just kind of like fall over, you know. He's going to be toughness 5, he'll have 3 wounds, and he'll be leadership 9. Okay? If you give him like the banner of discipline, that means any unit you stick him with is going to be leadership 10. If your general dies, the only time that you'll ever take a wound is if you roll boxcars. So, hey, look at that. And that's only a single wound, and that's like the worst roll possible. Excuse me. Now, next, right below him is Conrad. Conrad is he's a really good character, but the only time that I would ever suggest taking him is if you're going to take Beast as your Forbidden Lore spells, and you're playing against like multiple wound monstrous infantry, such as Ogre Kingdoms. Trust me, this guy will make your day, because you give him Savage Beast or Horos, I would throw 6 dice at it, miscast it, so what? If you can change it and avoid death, wait and watch this guy just cause mayhem. I've seen him do 32 wounds easy, wipe an entire Ogre Kingdom unit by himself. Now, Manfred the Acolyte, I'm going to start playing him a little bit more, because he is he's actually worth his points. I didn't add him up, but he is definitely, he knows all, he's a level 2, he's 185 points, but he knows all spells, and he gets a couple of his magic items, so that's really great. And right below him you have Necromancer. I'm going to explain the Necromancer. The best combo that I'll probably use is probably just Necromancer, give him Van Hales as his base spell, give him either Hand of Dust or a Dispel Scroll, so your general has some more options like taking Earthing Rod. That's probably what you would want to do. This is the builds I'm going to try out in my next few battle reports. My Wight King BSB is going to take the War Banner, so he's 100 points, but he's going to add +3 to any combat he's with. That's kind of that's kind of broke really, because he's going to be a battle standard bearer, and he's going to have a +1 combat res because of the War Banner. So he's going to be pretty cool. He's just going to be 100 points. The next one I'm going to do is a Wight King. He's going to take Sword of Kings in the Cursed Book. So he's going to challenge out. He's going to take Sword of Kings. So he kills on he's got a Killing Blow on a 5-up, and he'll have a 2-up armor save. So that's pretty cool. The next one is going to be my War Machine Killer, and it's going to be a vampire. He's going to be a scout. He's going to have Avatar of Death, so he's got a 4-up armor save. He's going to take the wristbands of black gold in case your opponents go first. He can he'll have a 3-up ward against anything that's ranged. And then Sword of Striking, and that'll allow him +1 to hit. So he'll be weapon skill 6. So most people will be below that, so he'll need 3s, but Sword of Striking will give him +1 to hit. So it means he'll be hitting on 2s at strength 5. So hopefully your normal crews, if you're playing high elves, you should be able to kill them. If you're playing if you're playing dwarves, you might have a problem, but you should be able to take out at least a couple war machines, or at least completely turn your army around. Now, I'm not sure what I have left on this presentation, but if the video ends, then I hope you enjoyed it. But if not,